Hey guys, Mike Toy, Bonsai Boise. So today I've got this Podocarpus. I've also heard it called a monk pine. Yeah, monk pine. I forget why, there's a whole story behind it, but I can't forget the story. Something about monks on a mountain somewhere used to bonsai these things. I'll see if I can find the story, put a link in. Anyways, so here is this Podocarpus. I bought this about 2 years ago from a grocery store, actually, just like Albertsons, for 20 bucks. It doesn't grow very fast, and lately it's not been doing well. I wired it a few months ago, just to kind of give it some character, and for whatever reason now this branch seems to be dying off, if it's not completely dead already. So there's a couple of leaves here that aren't completely crispy, but the rest of them are. So, yeah, you can see it's just falling apart. Whereas this branch here seems to be doing fine. It's actually got some new growth on it there and along the branch here, along there. So, I'm gonna repot it. It's been in the same soil this whole time since I bought it at Albertsons. All I did was slip pot it into this and filled it with some bonsai soil around it. I think, at least. I don't think I did anything too crazy other than that. So I'm gonna repot it. I'm probably going to end up making a big cut right there. Snip, snip. And then this will be the main branch and the new leader and everything. But I'm going to test it out first and cut a little bit off of these to see if there's any life left at all in this part of the trunk. So follow me, let's get it out of this pot and take a look at the roots and do some cuts here and see what we're working with. Alright, so I'm back. So, let's go ahead and get it out here. I'm going to move some of these tools out of the way. And move this fork. And actually, before I get it out of there, let's do just a little bit of cutting to see what we're looking at on this other branch here. Let me see if I can get this part off just so it's out of our way. Okay. I'm hoping that that's not what did it. I don't really know. It's kind of a mystery. These are fun little trees. They just look very unique and cool. And like I said, they're slow growers, but otherwise they're pretty cool and attractive. Get lots of comments on them. So I'm hoping it's not too far gone. I don't think it is. Now let's take a look here. So as we can see, these leaves don't look healthy, but they're not crispy like some of these are. So I need to find a spot to do kind of a sacrificial cut. Let me get rid of some of these crispy leaves here and get them out of our way. And what I'm doing, just to explain, is since I'm not 100% sure if this entire branch is gone or not, I'm gonna do a couple sacrificial cuts and see if there's any life in it at all. Part of me thinks there is, part of me doesn't. See, it had some new growth a couple of weeks ago and then it just sort of shriveled up and died. So I think this is a good spot to do one cut. Let's see. Yeah, it's dry as a bone there. Pretty dry as a bone. So that one we know is gone. I think this one here is gone. Pretty dry. This is the part that's got me wondering, because you can see these leaves here have a little life on them. And I don't know why. I would have guessed that the way that it would die is that it would turn crispy on the end of the branch first and then work its way in, but it's actually the opposite here. So I'm gonna cut some of these leaves. Let's just see. A lot of these seem pretty crispy and dead. Take a look at that. And all I do when I make a cut like this, when I'm testing it out, is I'll cut it, and then I just sort of like shave a little bit off and just see, is it still green? Sometimes it's green even when it's dead, it's just the color of it, but you can kind of tell if it's got life in it or not. Just by how crunchy it is, I guess you could say, or flimsy if it's still alive. See, that seems pretty crunchy. Try this one. Yeah, see, the leaves just fell apart on me, so. This kind of seems alive. So I'm at a decision point now. I don't know what to do. I don't know if I should let this go or not. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it back to here, because these also seem halfway crispy and halfway not. We'll cut it back to here and we'll see if it's got some green in it. That'll answer the question. Kind of hard to tell, honestly. Such a small branch that it's kind of hard to tell. But it does seem like it's got a little bit of life there. It's a little flimsy there. Now that it's cut, we can go ahead and dive in more. While it does have a little bit of life, I think it's just a little bit of life, and it was pretty much gone. And that's okay anyways, because now, if I make this cut right here like I'm gonna do, it'll create taper. I talked about this a little bit in the last video, but just to go over it again, taper is when you let the tree grow, and you do a big chop, and what'll happen is the size of the trunk will start to taper better, because this big part of the trunk will blend into this smaller piece here. It takes time, but that's how it works. So that's how you create taper in your bonsai tree. It's always hard to do because we work so hard to make them grow and live, and then we just chop it. So it's hard to do, but you got to do it at some point. So I'm going to go ahead and make that big cut here. Give me 1 second. So I'm going to make a big cut now. I'm going to go right about there. Let's see the best way to do this here. I'm going to go like this, actually, right there. Okay. Think about it. Here we go. Ready? That sucker's tough. Well, it certainly seems dead. But I can count the rings here, so let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6. So this is 5 or 6 years old. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, about 6 years old. So that's interesting. So now it looks all lopsided and imbalanced and weird and goofy, and that's okay. So before I do any smoothing out here, I'm actually not going to do that right now. Right now, we're going to take it out of this pot and out of this soil and put it in. I'm going to actually just repot it into this same pot, because for space reasons, where it sits on the window, I don't have another pot of this size where it can fit, and I like this pot, so why not? So I'm going to move this out of the way. A little repotting bowl here. It's just an oil can. You get these at the dollar store. They're perfect for repotting. So, I don't think I have it wired in, but let's have a look. Nope, I don't. So let's see if it just comes right out or if I gotta do some cutting here. That's not a good sign. So look how shallow that root system is. It came out with no effort at all. Also, that soil is really black, which indicates to me there's too much organics, perhaps. I'm not really sure. It's really hard around the sides. Okay, so I'm gonna set this aside here for 1 second while I do this. You know, for life of me, I can't tell what is going on. So actually, I'm going to set this all the way aside for a minute. Let's get this old soil out. Okay, there we go. So let's get this soil out there and have a look at it. Doesn't look good. Very thick, mushy. So it does not look good. I really can't even remember putting it in here. I vaguely remember, but not very much. So I'm not sure what mix I used of bonsai soil, or I really don't know. Whatever it was, something went wrong there. So okay. Hang tight 1 second. I'm going to go clean this out. I'm going to rinse this out and rinse off those roots a little bit. I'll be right back. All right, so I'm back. So I rinsed off the roots, and some interesting looking roots, I'll give it that. It's really kind of like, almost like a scraggly, I guess is the word. But I do see some new growth here. I see some new roots coming in, so that's all a good sign. So I'm not really going to do any root pruning at all, because frankly it's just not in good shape, and I don't want to cut any of the roots. I want this thing to grow and gain some vigor back. So let's go ahead and get it potted into a new pot. All right, so what I'm going to do now is take this net. Big thanks to my girlfriend who hit the red dot for record for me. Thank you, Jay. This is her tree. So I'm going to take this net, place it over the drain hole. Take some rocks, put it over the net. That way it doesn't go anywhere, and it also provides good drainage. I'm always a little careful how I put it, because I don't want to block the drainage, but I just want to hold down the net, and I want to make sure that it doesn't get clogged up with soil. So then I'm going to, 1 second, forgot my cup. Okay, got a cup here, so I'm just going to take some soil. By the way, before I pour this in, I'm going to show you the mix that I made for this. So take a look. Soil in there. Okay, so this time I'm going to put it at a slight angle like this, kind of give it a little bit of movement. Do it just like that. Sort of working into the roots a little bit as I go, just with my fingers. I'll give it a more thorough working in here in a moment. Ooh, almost spilled it all. That would have been fun. Losing that angle I was going for. There we go. That's better. So you probably noticed there in that little clip where I showed you the soil mix, it's a different type of mix that I'm using than I've ever used before. Pretty heavy on the organics, and I'm using a good deal of pumice rather than perlite this time, because you know, I like to try different things out. And a little bit of coconut fibers, which I've been hearing good things about, though I've not really tried it too much. I think I tried it a little bit on an air layer for a hibiscus at one point, but otherwise haven't really tried it a whole lot. The reason I'm trying it on this one is because I learned from Peter Chan on Haran's Bonsai. If you haven't checked him out yet, definitely check him out. I've learned a tremendous amount from him. But I learned that anytime a tree is in trouble, put it in some sphagnum moss. Now I know that coconut fiber is not sphagnum moss, but it is kind of a substitute for sphagnum moss. We're going to find out how good of a substitute. But that was my thinking behind it. Didn't have any sphagnum moss on hand, did have coconut fiber, so I went with coconut fiber. So that's good for now on that. I'm going to go ahead and put it in fast forward time lapse while I work the soil into the roots, because that takes a little while and it's a little bit boring to watch. So in this case, we'll get it done in 30 seconds or less. Let's go. All right, so there it is. Got it all potted up, got the soil worked in, just went and rinsed it off, gave it a good watering. I'm gonna give you a spin here. So I don't know what the future holds for this guy. We'll see. My prediction, if I had to make a prediction, is one of two things. Either it's going to just die. Either whatever was wrong is already too far gone. Hey puppy. A dog just walked in here. I don't know who this dog is. Hey dog. Hey pup. See you later. New neighbors just moved in next door and their dog came to say hi. Anyways, whatever was going wrong is, you know, it was already too late, or it's going to thrive after this, after a couple of months of getting established. That's my prediction. So we'll see. I'll keep you updated and let you know how it goes one way or the other. And, you know, we'll go from there. But hopefully you liked the video. If you have any info on Podocarpus, please share in the comments or shoot me a message. You know, you can message me on, well, I guess you can't on YouTube, but on Facebook or Instagram or wherever. Or just leave a comment in the comments. And please like on the video and subscribe to the channel. You can see updates on this and other trees too. And just want to say thanks for doing that, and thanks for watching. Have a good rest of your day.